All right, good morning, everybody. Hope you're having yourselves a fantastic start to the AM here. Happy Thursday, and hopefully, what should be a fantastic trading day for us here this morning. FOMC yesterday, right? Maybe a little bit of a surprise with a 50 basis point cut. And we're seeing markets rip on that move here early doors. Yesterday, if we look at it, right, pretty aggressive algo pump here to start the session, and then a little bit of like a choppy sell-off for the remainder of the day. But this morning, right, we've seen very aggressive buyers step in, and we're now back to all-time highs, right, on the index level, at least on ES. That should certainly create a little bit of a trading opportunity for us here today. And we should have some flexibility, right, to take advantage of this momentum. And hopefully, right, we can kind of get back on track here to really dominate today's market. It's been one okay day, one okay day to the downside so far this week. So looking forward, right, to finding a little bit of a resolution away from that choppy price action that we've experienced, right? Monday, inside bar. Tuesday, FU Doji, right? And then yesterday, very choppy session prior to FOMC. So we're looking, right, for today to be a little bit of a clarity day, hopefully, and to push us in the right direction. Now, just because we're gapping up here significantly this morning doesn't mean that it's necessarily going to be a tremendous trend day here to the upside, right? It's a pretty big move higher. So oftentimes, right, on these big moves higher, price action either gets stuck, right, or we sell off. And so we're going to want to be not necessarily flexible, but judging the volume standard and seeing where that momentum shows up prior to us being aggressive. From an economic calendar perspective, right, we've got existing home sales and economic indicators at 10, which again could be a little bit of a catalyst, and that has been the theme we've been dealing with here a little bit over the last month, where it's like a bit of a positioning trade, 9:30 to 10, and then we kind of get the theme of the day established in that second half of the morning. And so we'll see if that ends up being the case here today. Like always, going to trade my system without discrimination, right? So I'm not going to overthink it. I'm going to focus on the variables I can control and allow basically the definitions we have in place to set ourselves up for a successful trading day. Because yesterday was FOMC, right? We're not going to put too much stock into yesterday's volume standard, right? Because we know a lot of that buying and selling was going to be based off of algo-based headlines, right? Or driven by algo activity there in the afternoon. And so that's going to create a little bit of an unreliable volume shelf for us to base off of, especially on NQ. So we are going to have flexibility in both directions here today. And we're just going to be looking at where that early momentum shows up and where that enthusiasm is prior to us being aggressive. So today's a little bit of an exception day post FOMC, and I'll obviously walk through all my thoughts and things along those lines as we creep up towards doing that analysis. So with that being said, let's have ourselves a fantastic session. Let's start mapping things out, figure out what we want to do, and let's get going here. In the meantime, good morning, Suresh, David, Igor, Gary, John, Salstein, Jeff, Samuel, Daniel, Joey, Ruben, Emil, Jeremy, Adnan, Rod, Craig, Dustin, Sarah, Bergs, Kenneth, Sammy, Juan, Randall, Brian, Mike, Topher, and Michael. Chaz, Tasha, hope you have yourselves all a fantastic start to the AM here and are ready for what should hopefully be a successful trading day. So looking forward to it, guys. And yeah, let's get after it. So first things first, what's the count here on ES? Let's start there. Yeah, 1 for 3 here to the downside, spot on, right? Red candle, decreasing volume, gap up. So it does give us flexibilities in either direction. We're holding above all-time highs here short term. So when you're at all-time highs, right, no one has a reason to sell in theory. So let's see if that narrative actually plays out here this morning. Obviously, that would be the easier trade as there's no resistance above us, right, besides those psychological levels. We're hanging out at 57.66 this morning. So we'll be targeting a move towards 57.80 as our starting point. And then we have it mapped out towards 5,800. That sounds weird to say. But then above 58, we'll go like 58.10, 58.20, go up to like 58.50. Cool. And then to the downside, right, we're going to target pre-market lows. So 5,700. Man, that's a big move. So 5,700 and then below. Then we got like 56.80, and then we have that, you know, gap to fill towards 56.40. So we'll map it out towards there. And what we're looking for this morning, right, for us to have an opportunity to be able to trade this either to the upside or to the downside, is for in that opening range candle, right, first candle of the day, we want to see bigger volume than what we saw yesterday, right? If we don't, then we're going to have a challenging time to see ourselves create, right, really good opportunities for us to trade. If I don't get that nice momentum, then I'm going to struggle a little bit, right, to have an aggressive idea here. So we'll make sure that that volume is impressive here this morning. All right, NQ, what's the count? Yeah, 2 out of 3 to the downside, Juan, right? 2 out of 3 to the downside, not upside, right? Because previous day's candle was red. And so if we're going to be bullish here, right, we need to see more volume than yesterday's open, not more volume than what we saw at essentially yesterday's FOMC announcement, right? No, the plus means bullish, the minus means bearish, right? So plus means upside, minus means downside. And then we're going to be targeting a move here towards like 26, right? That's quite a lot. We're at, what, 20,000 right now, so first starting point. Yeah, perfect. You go 22 out of 3 minus with volume would be the easier way to do it. And then to the downside here, 19,650 would be the starting point, and then we can kind of map it out from there. So again, I need to see bigger vol than yesterday on the upside, easier, right, volume standard here to the upside, to the downside. Sorry, I'm having a few issues. Sorry. All right. Perfect. So crude, what's the count here? Yeah, 2 out of 3 here to the downside with volume, right? Red candle, increasing volume, gap up. So the missing element here, right, is a gap down to make it a 3 out of 3. So it's a 2 out of 3 here to the downside with volume. And it's going to be a weak 2 out of 3 to the downside. right? Because the candle shape is a least bearish versus a most bearish. And so we're at 71 here. Target 71.50 as our starting point to the upside. Yesterday, right, Wednesday the 18th, red candle, increasing volume, and then today's price action is green. Today's price action is different than yesterday's color, right? So today's price action is gapping up, not gapping down. So it'd be 3 for 3 if it was gapping down because it was a red candle, but because it's gapping up, right? That's the missing element. And we're targeting a move down towards 69. And then we have it already mapped out. Does that make sense, Juan? All right. Apple, 3 for 3 here to the upside. And it's a big gap up, right? Big gap up. And so we're going to look for a breakout over, you probably drag out this trend line like this, right? So a gap up over 226. And then to the downside here, because it's a 3 out of 3, we're going to go NA. All right, Tesla, again, rejected yesterday at that gray box, right? We've seen that get defended multiple times. So we'd like to see that gap fill breakout occur and hold. So, you know, we have no evidence of that happening here in the short term. And it's a 2 out of 3 with volume to the downside, right? Red candle, increasing volume, gap up. So we're going to look for a rejection inside that gray box. Or a breakdown under yesterday's low of day, which is approximately 227. All right. Microsoft. What's the count? Yeah, 2 out of 3 to the downside with volume. Good morning, SG. So not too much changing here. Right, and we're looking still for that 440 rejection or a breakdown here now under 431. Okay, Amazon. Doji, red candle, increasing volume, gap up. So again, this is going to be a weak 2 out of 3 here to the downside with volume. So we're going to say 190 breakout still in play, right? Or a high volume rejection under 185. So that weak candle shape, right, gives us a little bit of a bias to be able to play this in both directions. Okay, AMD, red candle, decreasing volume, gap up, right? So 1 out of 3 here to the downside. And so we're looking for a breakout above 155, not too much changing there, or to the downside under 148. All right, NVIDIA still consolidating inside this possible bull flag pattern. Increasing volume, but not outlier volume. So it's still going to be a 2 out of 3 here to the downside in a bull flag, right? So if we are going to get a breakout above that 121, it's got to be on bigger volume than what we saw yesterday. And then to the downside, right, a breakdown under 113.50 is a little bit easier for us to trade. And then can go from there. All right, Meta. Green candle, decreasing volume, gap up. Doji, right? If we're going to visualize that volume is, that candle shape, right? If we're going to visualize that candle shape, it's pointing down, not up. So we do have a little bit of flexibility here. This would be like a Bollinger Band reversal type setup, or we're looking for a 551 breakout on volume. All right, Netflix, bearish engulfing candle, right? Bearish engulfing on volume, gapping up. 2 out of 3 here to the downside with volume. And we're looking for a rejection here, basically under 688. No bull case today. Strong candle shape, right? Strong volume profile. Doesn't give me an easy bullish narrative. And we're looking for a breakdown under 688. And then Google. Doji, right? Actually, inside bar. Yeah, inside bar here. And a big gap up, right? So now we're looking for a pop over 164. Or, right, BB reversal. And then you say needs increasing vol. Good morning, Antonin. Well, there's overnight price action, right? And if we're seeing futures being bought up here overnight, then it makes sense that we're seeing a lot of those pre-market buyers, right, stepping in and also doing that same narrative. That's going to be based off of yesterday's FOMC, right? So I would say it's a sympathy play to that. Okay, and then VIX selling off significantly. Yeah, Daniel. So for us to go long NQ, we're going to need to see consistent stories across the board and more volume at today's open than yesterday's open. So there's 2 ways that we can rely or we can invalidate basically previous strength, right? It's make higher highs if you're bearish, which we're already doing here pre-market, and do that on more volume than what you saw the previous day. Yeah, 52% success rate, coin flip odds. You can do better than that. So yeah, the 2 ways that we can invalidate price action are always, right, make higher highs. So prove that, hey, those bears aren't defending those areas. And then ideally, right, on bigger volume than what you saw previous day. All right, any other questions here, team? I would say probably no. In general, we have a slightly indecisive narrative across names, right? Because the bearish narratives that we are seeing are generally weaker. So like a Tesla, right? Okay volume, that's probably our strongest setup here to the downside. Everything else, right? We're pretty much above yesterday's highs. So we're not seeing too much emphasis, right, or too much conviction from bears here so far this morning. So I would say that it's a slightly mixed bag narrative here today. Does that make sense? So it's hard to put too much stock into that bearish momentum when we're gapping up above all of those scenarios. If we see sellers step in, they should defend with aggression. If we see buyers continue this breakout, then we should also see that with aggression. I think it's probably mostly BS right now, Rod. Truth be told with you. Yeah, at least at the retail level. Like at the fund I worked at, we had a bunch of machine learning algorithms that were creating, right, basically market making strategies using historical price data. But until these services are executing your trades for you and getting you better than a 52.9% win rate, I wouldn't be super enthusiastic about them personally. There's no edge there, right? From all the automated trading bots and signals that I've seen, they basically use a martingale strategy. So what they do, right, is if you have a winning trade, awesome. If you have a losing trade, their next trade is double the risk. If you have that one, it's triple the risk, 4x the risk, right? Just keeps doubling the risk until it has a win, which works really well until you have a losing streak. So I haven't seen anything more sophisticated than that here in the moment. And yeah, not really a big fan of those techniques. Probably. Yeah, probably. These services that say, oh, we'll pass you your account for you and we'll trade for you, all this kind of stuff, they don't get you payouts because you get banned before you ever do. All right, guys, so I'm just going to make myself a quick cup of coffee, spend a few minutes here visualizing a successful trading day, and then we'll jump on here before the session is over. All right, be back in a few minutes. All right, so let's do a quick little rundown here before the session starts, right? We've got pretty big gap ups here across the board this morning after yesterday's 50 basis point hike. Historically, hikes like that in markets like this are a indication of a potential short-term market top, but we're not seeing any evidence of that here yet today. So we got to make sure, right, that we do see that momentum show up here this morning, right, in either the bull case or the bear case, because we've got either, non-volume conditions, so 1 out of 3 here to the downside on ES. We want to make sure, right, that today's opening candle, the opening candle of the opening range, is indicating to us that we have an increasing momentum standard. And we're not going to be looking for more volume than yesterday during FOMC. We're looking for more volume compared to previous days open, right? So that's what we care about here. If we get that oomph, then we should have an opportunity to be relatively aggressive, and we can look to hopefully get the week going off here with a bang. If I don't see that, then I'm not going to rush anything. I'm not going to force anything. I'm not going to jump into anything crazy. I'm going to control the variables I can't control and make sure, right, that I'm building everything out from a risk management perspective first. So like always, right, we're thinking about our position sizing. We're thinking about our stop loss. We're thinking about how much we're risking before we ever enter into a trade. And that's going to be the, focus here. No, Juan, I don't. I place all my trades here between 9:30 and 11 approximately. I don't trade in the afternoons. I don't trade pre-market. I don't see an edge trading those ideas. So no, personally, no. I feel like I get more than enough action, plenty of enthusiasm, so I don't need more oomph. All right. So let's have ourselves a day here, team. Let's have ourselves a day. Looking forward to it. Any questions? All right, fantastic. So let's have ourselves a big session here, guys. Looking forward to seeing what the market gives us today. And again, right, we're not judging or expecting more volume than yesterday at 2 p.m. or even yesterday at close. In historically, right, indexes give us the most amount of volume at end of day. So we're not expecting the opening candle to be more volume than yesterday's close. We're expecting to be more volume than yesterday's open. So far, pretty slow volume standards. A day of absorption here would not be surprising, right? So we should get there on NQ. ES, maybe not so much. ES is struggling a little bit with the volume. I'd say pretty good dip buyers there on NQ, right? Pretty good. Oh, might have jinxed it. Not the world's biggest range, right? 60 points is pretty small for a profit target for NQ. ES a little bit bigger, but we don't have the volume standard there. So far, market's absorbing that relatively well. So let's see how things shape up here. No rush yet, guys. No rush. Well, ES1 will now be that contract, right? So you should see no difference there. ES1 is ESZ. It is now the December contract. Yeah, so on ESZ, it's showing us that increasing volume standard. You're correct. On ES1, for whatever reason, it is not. Maybe that's a me problem here. So I don't think we're going to get that increasing volume here on the 3. At least not yet. Okay, so it is a me problem. Let's see if this fixes it. And FYI, guys, here, I am now trading on Top Step X. Yeah, so now that fixed it. So I'm trading on Top Step X here as my execution platform. I did set that up here yesterday. The execution window is a little bit different, but every platform is the same in my opinion, right? It's all buy and sell buttons. That right, they're all the same. I don't, Joey. I use it purely for my execution. I'm going to use it purely for my execution. I don't have my indicators set up in there, anything along those lines. It's just going to be purely for execution. So still going to do all my analysis here. I'm still going to look at my plans here, do all that kind of stuff. I'm just going to do it there. The benefit, I guess, to Top Step X is that they just have their internal trade copier, right? So when I have all my accounts set up here, it shows me my total position, right? I don't have to use a third-party copier. They're all the same, guys. All these platforms are the same. And TopStep X is just their unique platform, right? It's their proprietary platform. And it's based off of TradingView. We might have a possible reversal scenario here coming together. So I literally made this switch so that I didn't have to deal with third-party copiers, because I was starting to deal with some pain points there. You cannot. You have to start a new evaluation. They don't allow you to switch platforms. Again, guys, don't overthink it, right? Keep the main thing the main thing. It really does not, it's not going to make you more profitable or make you less money or lose you money. It really isn't. Like I said, I'm doing this purely for execution reasons. Everything else from my end is still going to look exactly the same. So yeah, just not dealing with those hiccups. That's the reason why I've made the switch. No other specific reason. Right? Just having it all in one place, seeing all my exposure in one account. It's just removes a headache, right? So the loophole I had with Replicanto for TopStep got closed. So just take my payouts, reset, restart. No big deal. No, it's not Tradevate. It's their own brokerage, right? It's TopStep X. That's what they're calling it. No. What I did, Juan, right, is all my accounts were at 30 profitable trading days. So I flattened them entirely to 0 and closed all of them and took my payout. So by doing that, right, I essentially breached my account and am now resetting, right, with 5 new ones. So if you don't take your payout to 0, you will still continue to have access to your account. All right, so we have an increasing volume standard here on NQ, right, to the upside. A little fake out lower, now breaking out here to the upside. The range is so small that I'm struggling with how much I have to zoom in here a little bit. It's kind of a pain in the ass. And so we're going to be looking either for the aggressive entry technique, right, or a pullback into 2055. Looks like it just made a higher high. So we're going to be looking for a high vol breakout here now above this range, right? Stairs up, elevator down. Did it make a higher high? Looks like it touched. Gosh, I hate how much I have to zoom in here. It's driving me nuts. Yeah, so we're going to have to see the aggressive technique then. Okay, nope. And a high vol fake out here would give us a scenario to the downside as well. Excuse me. Right, this was not a confirmation here to a downside. Strong volume, weak candle shape, right? So no go. And then we have data at 10 a.m., right? So same thing like we had the other day. I will close this trade going into data 1 minute before. So we'll have a shot clock on it. Gosh, I hate how much I have to zoom in here, though. This is driving me freaking nuts. So it's just what happens, right, when you have a small opening range. And so this is approximately, right, a 30-point stop loss. So one contract, right, would be 600 bucks. So ideally, we'd prefer to see the aggressive entry technique, right, because it would allow us to get a better position sizing. Right, where it would be 23 points. So 23 times 20, right, it's like 460. Or, right, you get a pullback that's more justifiable. So let's see. This would be a one contract play here, right? One contract. And so far, we're seeing a lot of absorption, not necessarily a rejection. A little bit better. Much better. So now we want to see tick to tick pull back into 44. Might not happen. Gosh, driving me nuts how much I have to zoom in. Sorry, guys. Okay, so now we have to switch to the 3-min time frame and look for the aggressive or a high vol confirmation here. Right, because the aggressive entry technique at this point, right, I can't get a retest of the previous candle's low as my entry, so less appealing. So we'll switch to this to the 3. Yeah, it's fair. I could do that. But then it screws up how everything else looks, which is annoying. So again, right now, this is a high volume breakup. We want this candle to probably close under 24. So 3 seconds to go. Watching that close. Did not do it. So we're going to say no setup here yet. Because if bears were strong with this volume, why couldn't they close under that previous lower low, right? That's the question I'm asking myself. Why couldn't they do that? For me, that's a little bit of a concern. Again, my ES back to being the funky volume. So this could be setting up as that possible reversal for ES. Good volume, right? Might be biggest of the day. And Q, we need to see again, break down through the opening range here now as our setup, right? And then increasing outlier volume as our confirmation. But Apple's ripping higher. Tesla's ripping higher. Microsoft at lows, Amazon not moving, AMD ripping higher, Nvidia made highs already, Netflix hanging out at 7, Google selling off. So a little bit of a mixed bag here. And we've not seen a ton of movement in either direction yet, so just be patient. So no setup there on the 3, maybe on the 5. So stop loss, that'd be 57, 51, 75, low a day. So about 6 points, right? Again, we've only seen elevator down here so far. No reason to jump in aggressively yet. ES, right? Breaking down, but not on increasing volume. So there's your lower low. Yeah, which matches what you see on ES, right? It's the same thing. And let's just contextually look at things, right? We've barely dipped into the opening kind of gap up, right? So now I'm looking for a high volume separation. We're at that 19... Be going for like 19.8 probably, right? Realistically would be our starting point here. No need to go too aggressive. 180 points is a lot. 8 minutes till data, so we still have a bit of time here. Again, like I said, would close this a minute before data. You know, if it's a minute prior to a minute closing, then okay, I'm going to struggle to pull the trigger here. But 8 minutes can give me plenty of follow through. So again, not increasing volume. So far, about 100 points of range. All things considered, not a lot. This candle can go bullish engulfing on volume, and we're not going to have time on this now. So I'm going to wait till 10 a.m. at this point, because none of these setups are close, so I'm going to wait for the data to drop. Because realistically, right, my anticipated hold time here is going to be like a minute. So that's not enough, right? I can't realistically think I'm going to get great follow through in that. All right, so we're just going to see if we get an algo reaction here to this 10 a.m. data. I mean, you have a possible reversal set up here on NQ, but not great. Would I want to have that punt on going into 10 a.m.? Not worth it. Well, we're probably not going to be there from a volume standard, right? Wouldn't say enough volume. So this NQ reversal, probably the most interesting here now, right? Not a huge reaction to that 10 a.m. data drop, right? Kind of a non-event. So we can look for a possible reversal, right? Here's your setup. Here's your confirmation. So ideally, you'd like the aggressive entry technique here. I don't want to see this thing pull back too much. Okay, so watching NQ here to the upside. 3-min reversal setup. There's your low vol fake out, right? Weak looking candle shape, weak volume profile. And then your confirmation here is this next candle, right? Increasing outlier volume, bullish engulfing, normal body, bullish candle shape. Stop loss here would have to be 19,998.50. So you're looking at about a 28-point stop loss, right? So about $600 worth of risk. So this would be a 1 contract play. We need to see elevator up, stairs down. On a breakout above or slash towards that 23. Maybe we'll get this pullback here. It's good absorption. So that's elevator up. So stop loss 19,998. 1 contract. So I'll continue watching here, right? We want to see pop above. It's going point to point up, point to point down. That's better. All right, guys. So I am in average price $22.50. And it's a 1 contract play. And so far, so good here, right? So far, so good. So up about $100 and $200 here now. See if we can keep getting a bit more follow through. And then every high volume separation away from our entry price will be an opportunity to build up our position sizing. But looking great here, team. Looking great here so far. Let's see if this thing's got some more juice. So that's $300. Let's see if it's got more. Come on. Who's in this with me? Anyone? Nice, Michael. Let's go. Nice work, Jason. Awesome. Great entry, Jared. Great entry. So I'm just going to watch this, right? Not going to let this fake me out here. That's my biggest fear, always. But we're holding up okay. If we can't close above 26, I'll get out. Don't think we're going to get increasing volume here, so won't be able to add a second contract, but good shape here. So we're in great shape here, team. Let's see if this thing can keep going. So that's 20 points. Nice work. All right, and now let's see this thing keep running higher here. Again, give me some of that volume to really push this. All right, really pushing here nicely. So that's 450. Not bad for one contract. Ooh, that I don't like. Still in for now. Great entry, King. Okay, so that was potentially a worst case scenario survival. Let's see if this thing can now make higher highs. That would be very bullish. There it goes. Fantastic. So that's 500 bucks. And look at that. One trade, right? We always talk about being one trade away from all-time highs. Good example of that here today. Well done, team. So let's see if this thing's got a bit more juice here. Again, if we could close up above that 50 handle, that would be best case scenario, I would say. Right? And preferably close above 43. Otherwise, not going to get too emotionally attached to this. So let's see how this next 30 seconds goes. But yeah, close and rip above 50 would be great. Come on, get over 43. Come on. Do it. Ooh. Do it. Right on the cusp. So I'm going to say stop loss is going to be here now. I don't want to see this thing making a lower low. Okay, I'm going to look to get out, guys. So I am out. I closed that position. And I closed it at 23.75. So if this is strong, it's going to reset up for me and I can look for another opportunity. But don't like that it couldn't hold above those highs. Nice work, Karat. That's fantastic. All right, so we established that shelf. We wanted to see it hold. It could not hold that. So just ended up closing that, right, for a small win. Ended up making peanuts on that, right? $25. Nice work, Herschel. Nice work, Jeremy. Good. I mean, everyone's making more money than me here. I mean, I'm not going to complain, right? Because I'm trading my process, not my P&L. So dealing with a pullback here and getting stopped out after being green would have been a worst case scenario, right? So I'm not super motivated by that type of price action. If this trade is strong, it'll give us another opportunity to play this on a breakout above the opening range high. So I don't have to take a loss there, right? No, I know what you mean, Andy. I know what you mean. So again, a little bit of a fake out lower there. Right, that was hunting stops. And I say that figuratively, not literally. People aren't hunting your stop loss. So I don't think this is going to go increasing outlier here. And that's a pretty punchy stop loss to have. So maybe on the 5-man we can get an opportunity. Maybe ES will give us a trade. 3-man's a little bit better on ES, but again, not outlier volume. Crude's not really moving. So just couldn't quite hold that intraday resistance. That's cruel that we now see it run. But I'm happy with that process, right? Dealing with that pullback and surviving. This doesn't feel like a very strong reaction from bulls, right? So again, right, we're resetting here. Just filled in my notes, right? So NQ long at 22.50. One contract stopped out at entry just above, broke intraday trade resistance, then pulled back to within 5 points of my original stop loss before making higher highs. So if I'm looking at this objectively, right? Okay, P&L wise, I'd be up in a much better position here right now if I held on. But giving back, right, 60 points worth of unrealized gains would not have felt good. So did the right thing, protected my mental capital. If this trade is strong, it'll give me another opportunity to enter. I don't need to force that here early, right? If it's strong, I'll have multiple chances. If it's not, I don't need to rush. So there's always going to be another chance, right? I'm not trading my P&L. I'm trading my strategy and my plan. If we make a plan intraday and we add information that we want to see occur and then we don't see that resolution, that's not bullish, right? It's not bullish for us to be breaking our rules, even if breaking our rules would have made us money, right? So, okay, pain in the ass, but not the end of the world. We have more than enough time here to get another setup. It's only 10:15. So again, now we're looking for a high volume separation away from the opening range as our setup. Might be a little bit behind there, Ben. I'm not sure. Nice work, Jeremy. Congratulations. All right, so this 3 min has a chance to give us that volume. Let's see if it happens. Minute to go. So it's going to be increasing, but probably not outlier volume here. Big explosion. So on the 5 min, that's going to be now our next setup trigger. Yes, not increasing outlier. So shame we got stopped out of that. Big shame. Would have been a $1,000 win here. So let's watch. Let's see if NQ can get to outlier. And this, right, will be the high vol breakout entry thesis here. So 50 seconds to go. Let's see if they can reset up. It's a bit annoying, but that's the way it goes. Remember, team, we're not judging ourselves based on our P&L on a day-to-day basis. If we're looking for that, right, then we're going to put ourselves in situations where we can't accept losses when they happen. We need to be judging ourselves on a process-based evaluation standard, right? So does my process basically, is it designed to protect me from the worst versions of myself? Is it designed to protect my mental capital? Is it keeping me sane, lucid, all these sort of things, and giving me a chance, right, to keep playing the game? If I can't say yes to those things, then I'm in trouble, right? So, okay, yes, annoying to have not gone into or be able to hold out through that trade, but that's quite the fake out. And expecting yourself to have held through that, right, and survived and to maintain all your mental capital when it makes a lower low and a lower high, not exactly a sign of bullish strength, right? So don't like overvalue your ability to survive through breaking your rules. And that's the way it's going to be sometimes, right? So on this 3-minute time frame, we've got increasing volume, increasing outlier volume, but we want to see this candle close as a stronger shape. And then if it does, right, we have an opportunity. And this would be a 2-contract play. So stop loss around 68.75. We need to see a pullback, right, tick by tick down into that 80.75. Or alternatively, right, might be getting the aggressive entry. So stop loss would be, say, 82.25. Entry around 91. So look for elevator up, right? And then tick by tick pull back lower. Haven't quite seen that yet. Okay, nope, no entry. Yep, no entry. I swear, that elevator technique saves me so much money. I don't have the courage to do this after a higher high. So next possible opportunity here would be on this 5-min or, right, on a possible like low vol pullback scenario. That could possibly be the play. Again, not super enthusiastic about that. Yeah, I mean, it's the 20 period candle, right? So it's the default setting. I tend to not mess around with default indicators. I just take what the default gives me. I don't do fancy shit on top of that, generally, is my rule. So it's just, okay, do I have outlier? If they're saying the moving average is 20, 20 seems like a reasonable number. Cool, right? Don't overthink it. So I don't think I can do that. So on the 5-min, I think I still have my setup in play, but it'd have to be the aggressive entry technique. Again, that's a pretty tight stop loss, right? 11 points. So this would be a 2-contract play. We need to get up and over 94.50 with elevator up. Okay, so now watching for elevator up, right? And then tick by tick pull back into 94.25. Still no. That went up like one flight of stairs, right? Not multiple. That's better. So now we want to see that pull back into 94.25. Slowly, though, right? It's got to be a slow little pullback. Ooh, almost. Okay, so watching closely here. Man, that got within 3/4 of a tick. Oh my gosh. The pain. So still watching here, right? Still watching. Oh, Jesus Christ. That was mean. That was really mean. Literally got within a tick there, right? That's painful. So now, right, we're looking for a increasing outlier volume breakout that holds above this red line to then target a move towards 22, right? Which would be something like this. That was cruel. That was very, very cruel. Sometimes you just gotta laugh, right? Sometimes you just gotta laugh. Nice work, Igor. Michael, you gotta get that shit out of your head, man. You followed your rules. You stuck to your plan. Don't hold it against yourself and torture yourself that you broke, like that you followed your rules. It's the dumbest thing you can do as a trader. So don't torture yourself, man. It means nothing. Like, torturing yourself with hypothetical gains is the easiest way to put yourself on tilt. Don't do that. Nice work, Rusty. All right, so ES going to be setting up as well. But please, guys, don't torture yourself with hypothetical gains. Don't forward project these numbers. Don't think, oh my gosh, yada, yada, yada. The money is... Stop thinking about that, right? The more you think about money, the more it's going to elude you when you're trading, because you're going to start to make decisions based on, oh, can I buy this Lambo? Can I buy this house? Can I go on this vacation? Whatever it is, right? And the second you start thinking that way, you fall into the trap. So don't, right? Don't give it that type of power over you. It's not worth it. It doesn't make you any more. If a trade is strong, it's going to give us multiple chances to enter. Don't fall for that shit. It's just numbers on a screen, right? It's not real. So now we're looking for a high vol breakout over 35 and then a little tick by tick pullback here. All right, guys, so I am in, let's see what my entry price is, 41.75. Stop loss at 25. All right, sweet. So this thing is starting to move nicely. Let's even keep giving me more follow through, right? Push, push, push. But we can't trick ourselves, guys, with hypothetical gains. Don't do that. Right? If you torture yourself with what ifs, you're just going to be living in the past and you're never going to make any money. So please no, right? Please no. You're going to miss 1,000 trades in your career. So don't make missing one personal, because it's not. I promise you it's not. And okay, right? Now this is a $600 day. Awesome. All right, so we didn't miss out on anything, right? Stop with that bullshit. It's the one thing that makes me very, very angry, because it's the one variable we can all control, and it's a very simple choice to control it. Very simple. So don't fall for the trap. Right? All you do is cheat yourself of your future gains by living in the past. Fuck that. Okay, needs to get some separation here again. That candle close was a little bit uninspiring. All right, here we go. See if we can make higher highs and break through that 60 barrier. If it does, we should be in great shape. And Michael, it's not something you work on. It's just something you do, right? You don't give the market that power over the what ifs. Because everyone has a million what ifs, right? So don't live in that. It's a choice. It's not something you work on, it's something you do. You understand? Right? If you constantly tell yourself that you need to work on it, all you do is think about, oh my gosh, this is the thing that's slowing me down. And you get stuck. Right? It's not worth it, man. Promise you it's not worth it. You can do everything right trading and lose money. You can do everything wrong and make money. Only one is sustainable long term, right? Simple as. And I wish I had a little bit more separation here. Well, inside bar doesn't kill me, but I don't like this little pullback. It's got to run here ASAP. Come on. Have yourself a great day, Jen. Yeah, but I didn't enter this on the 1-min chart, Emmanuel, so I'm not going to look at that and look at confirmation bias on different time frames. My signal is still valid on the 3, so I'm going to trust this time frame, right? I don't do multi-time frame analysis because all you do is you find the piece of information that you're looking for that either gives you what you want or gives you what you don't want. So if I was happy with my initial risk, I'm going to trust my plan on that time frame. So that information is meaningless to me, right? It's meaningless. It means nothing. It serves no purpose. All right, so I took the stop there, guys. Took the stop. Might be a little bit of a fake out here, unfortunately. We don't look for confirmation bias, right? We trust our system. We play our technique. We don't try to talk ourselves into something that isn't there. Nice work, Jason. Incredible day, man. Incredible. So if you guys did your homework yesterday and watched the video, right, on how to avoid fake outs, the technique that would have avoided this fake out is you wait for a close under, right, your entry price, or under your stop loss, sorry. That would have kept you in this trade. Not saying that would have been the right thing to do, but I just want to mention, right, different techniques, right, you're going to have different pros and cons for every stop loss style that you choose to use, right? So every trade, every technique is going to fake you out at times. It happens. But yeah, don't make it personal and don't look for confirmation bias. That shit gets expensive fast. So now maybe we have an opportunity for reversal on the 15. It's got a lot of work to do from a volume standard, but that could be a play. %, right? So there's pros and cons to every technique, exactly like that video describes, right? And the point is be consistent with what you choose to do, right? Because if you're consistent in your process, then your outcome will be consistent too. And if you notice that something isn't working, right, then it's obvious to make that change. But if you do a different thing every single time, or your execution process is different every single time, all you end up doing is confusing yourself because you're never going to notice the pattern that's costing you or making you money. 'Nice work, Herschel. That's incredible, man. Nice job. So I love to see it. Everyone's making more money than me today. I love that. So what are we looking for here now, right? High volume breakdown, either away from the opening range or through the opening range. So here's your fake out, right? This would be potentially, if this can get to outlier, your high volume confirmation. If this could hold under 20,100, that'd be a great sign. It's 10:47, so still got a bit of time here. 30 seconds to go. We're going to be close. And then we're going to target low a day here, right? So there's your outlier volume. Ideally, we get the aggressive entry technique, right? Okay, beautiful. So now see it fail again as it tries to make new highs. Cool. So looking for an entry here, right? This would be 2 contracts. Okay, that's point to point higher, not tick to tick. So again, see if we can get stuffed at that 20.095 and flush again. And then pull back, right? Tick to tick, not point to point. Right now, pulling back point to point. So stop loss would be 97 here at the moment. More, 98, 99. Okay, fine. So it'll be 103. Now we want to see a flush under 87 and then tick to tick pull back into that area. You don't want to see it being able to recover under that psychological level, right? Or above that psychological level, I should say, sorry. So if we're going to see bulls defend, or sorry, bears defend here, they should be able to not do so with much enthusiasm. So we want to see it flush through this green line, right? And then a pullback into that area. So 86.50. Stop loss 20 points away, right? So one contract's going to cost you about $400. So that would be a 1 contract play. Okay, no look here by the looks of it. It's got to really die here aggressively. Still a lower low, still a lower high, so we're not dead yet. But that's not a great looking reaction early doors. Okay, so again, still looking for that 86 area. Lower low, lower high. So bearish characteristics, even though this is a green candle. A close under that 100 barrier is a good sign. Close above, not so much. Okay, cool. So again, right now we can go stop loss 105.75. Assuming we get a flush. Okay, so again, looking for a flush here under that 86.50 and then a tick by tick pullback into that area. Okay, again, close. Okay, flush through here, motherfucker. Okay. There we go. So now we want to see a tick by tick pullback. All right, guys, I am in short 82.50. One contract. Kind of a shitty entry price, but that's okay. Still within my risk reward zone. So let's see this thing make some immediate lower lows and really start to push down, give me separation away, right, from my psych level here and entry price. So just in my notes, writing down, right, that 82.50 entry that I took was a little bit rushed, maybe a little bit chased. Even though it was in my risk reward zone, I could have gotten a much better price, right? Okay, I mean, I'm not going to complain. But, yeah, I could have made, you know, extra 200 bucks there, right? Easily. So let's see if this thing has got some legs here for a downside pop. Great entry, Michael. Great entry. Yeah, that's the one I should have gotten. Okay, so let's see if this thing can go here. Starting to really give me some nice follow through. Plus 500. So we're in good shape here, team. Let's see if we can get some more. Oh, these days where you got to work for your money. I won't disagree with that, Michael. I won't disagree with that. Okay, it needs to see it flush. Not enough volume for me to call that a confirmation for an addition. Right? If this was increasing outlier volume, then yes, but it's not. Come on, break down, break down, break down. Yeah, I'm being very conscious of this chop here. And that bounce didn't feel great. So let's see if we can flush. Come on. Get down under 50. So that's 6, 610, 650. Come on. It's just bouncing right at that shelf. There we go. So let's see if we can get some more follow through. That's almost $1,000. Nicely green on the day here all of a sudden, right? Let's go. Man, we have to work for our money this week. So I will say, right, because I felt a little bit early on my entry, so I jumped in maybe 8 points early. No, there's no, I mean, that's why I probably feel a little bit more anxiety in this trade, right? You know, I felt like I made maybe a bit of a mistake jumping this slightly prematurely. And so, you know, that anxiety tends to compound later on, right? So instead of being up 1,200 here, you know, I'm up 1,000 when I should be up a bit more. So it just makes it a little bit harder to trust yourself, right, when you caught yourself making a mistake. Now, it's not the end of the world, right? I'm protecting a nice green day here all of a sudden. But it should have been more. Oh, yeah, sorry, Jeff. I'm copying this across all my accounts, right? So I have 5 total accounts. I have 10 total contracts. Nice work, Juan. Okay, here we go. So sorry, I'm probably a little bit confusing with my math here. Let's go, King. Let's go. What a day. This should say 2 contracts. Sorry. Correct. Yeah, stop is still there. I mean, at this point, I'm going to have my stop at 73. Sorry, guys. Sorry. So stop loss is going to be 73.25. Just don't let it make a higher high. Come on, die. All right, guys, I'm going to look to close this. Because that volume's going to look to be bullish increasing, right? So I'm going to look to, I'm closing this position. And I am all out. Right? That for me is a reversal signal. It was going to be outlier volume. So all out. Oh, what a working man's day. Nice work, Emil. Great job. Michael, well done, man. $1,500 on the day. That's fantastic. King, man, $4,500. You should be thrilled. That's incredible work. And today, we had to really fight for a green day, unfortunately. So that made me 910. So back to kind of green on the week by a couple bucks. Had to fight today. Jesus. So again, right? Thing that I would say I'm doing well here. And there's pros and cons to everything, right? But, I mean, protected myself before this thing pulled back, right? Nice work, Mike. So that's an $1,800 day. Let's go. Nice work, Jason. 100%, Topher, 100%. If you're in those, if you're in an Apex account, it is a fantastic tool to use. And yeah, it was the right call to get out. 100%. Nice work, Topher. Well, I mean, guys, everyone's making more money than me here today. I'm jealous. Nice work, Juan. Nice work. No operational mistakes today, okay? So if you're going to spend the afternoon practicing, make sure you're doing it through TradingView, right? Paper trader logged in. I don't want to hear any operational mistakes. All right. Oh. That's not bad, Mike. That's not bad. You can get out of that. No problem. That's one borderline shitty trade away from being green. You're not talking to me, are you, Topher? So today, right? 3 trades, 2 wins. Not the end of the world. Well done, King. Man, that's a monster. Making me just a little bit jealous here. Yeah, you're in great shape. Congrats, man. Well done. Rod, 2100 is not a slow day, dude. It's a great day. Yeah, good job everyone here today, right? Look, a little bit of a fighting day here, right? We had to fight. Market didn't want to give us a ton of cooperation. That's the way it goes sometimes. We certainly cannot make it personal. And I'm glad to be green, right? I cannot complain about being green. Ken, just saw your email, man. 1,800 for the week. That is awesome. Congratulations. I love it, guys. Love to see it. Right? We're focusing on our risk management. We're controlling the variables we can't control. Okay, we're not getting as much oomph from the market as we would like. But we're just taking what the market is giving us and we're not making it personal. So that makes me very, very happy. A little bit unlucky with our second NQ, or our first NQ trade, right? This reversal that we played, that little fake out and then ran, that would have been the big win. That's the way it goes, right? Sometimes the market's going to give you chop outs and fake outs like that, and just cut that lose or cut that win or whatever for whatever it is. So you basically preserve that mental capital. We did a good job of that here today, allowed ourselves to finish green, and for me, that's a really fantastic start, right? I'll take 2,500 bucks. It could be worse. Any questions here, guys? Anything you want to go over? Any questions here, guys? Any questions? Well done today, Kenneth. Man, love to see the progress you're making this week. Yeah, you too, Emmanuel. Have yourself a great day, man. To be honest with you, Ben, I honestly don't care about the execution software or platform. I really don't care. I've been trading, like, they all have buy buttons. They all have sell buttons. That's really all I need. I do miss from TradingView the doing the math for you, right, with the risk calculation. That's pretty slick. I haven't been able to find that in Top Step X. But yeah, I can't say I really have any complaints. For me, it's all a platform. You should have seen the shit I was using when I was working institutionally. It was straight out of 1995. Like, it was, like Boris from GoldenEye would have been thrilled with it, but everyone else would have been disgusted. Today, first day on it today, Jason. First day on it today. Took profit on and closed all my accounts across the board. So took a pretty nice payout. We'll see when that hits, hopefully this afternoon. And then Apex, maybe a couple days. And just moving everything to Top Step X because it's all in one place. So just won't have any copier issues. Was having some issues with the copier I was using. And I was just starting to become a pain in the ass. So I decided to close out. And yeah, I'm happy to be green here, guys. Happy to be green. That's awesome. Yeah, no accounts with Apex here at the moment anymore. I had 40% of my accounts with Apex, 2 out of my 5. But, yeah, happy to... Like I said, the reason I like Top Step is they just pay me out faster. So, hard to complain about that. Yeah, and we'll see how quick it is on a 6-figure payday, but can't complain. The reason I'm not using Apex, nice work, Karat. That's awesome. No, I still do hard stop losses, Mike. It's just got to set up a second order as a stop limit. I'm not really a believer in mental stop losses because with a mental stop loss, I have no fail-safe if I break my rule. So I'd rather take the pain of getting stopped out than trusting myself to not get emotionally attached to my P&L. To a certain extent, I mean, this maybe contradicts myself a little bit here with what I just said about those mental stop losses. Is like I'm kind of numb to the numbers to a certain extent because when I was working institutionally, like, dude, I was trading $40 million positions. So my P&L would be moving, you know, hundreds of thousands of dollars a minute. So you kind of get numb, for a lack of a better term. Kind of get numb to it. So yeah, I try not to think about the number too much, but you can hear me calling out my P&L, right, intra-trade. So you can hear that. I mean, they weren't my fun coupons. Like, I saw fucking pennies of that. Like, my my salary when I was working there was 36,000 pounds a year. And the majority of my income came from bonuses, right? And then you'd get to compound your bonus by putting the money into the fund. So, okay, it was like I made 36,000 a year. They paid for my housing, my car, insurance. They booked all my appointments for me, did all that fun stuff. So I didn't have to think very much. And I honestly didn't touch my salary after my first year. And bonus, you'd get, man, huge numbers. My first year, I got like 130,000 pounds. And I was working in a tax-free jurisdiction. So that was pretty awesome. And then I put 100,000 of that into the fund. That compounded without any fees to about a 50% return the following year. And then my next year's bonus was like 350K. And then after that, it was like 275, 400. And so, you know, when I came back to Canada, I converted that from pounds to Canadian dollars. It was pretty fun. and I made my money, right? So my bonus pool, maybe this is too much information, but basically say if my instruction was, okay, buy Apple at 228 and I bought it at 227.80, a percentage of that 20 cents would go into my bonus pool. A small percentage, but when you're trading huge numbers like that over the course of a year, it really adds up. So that was how it worked. That was how my compensation worked. It was very much eat what you kill. It just wasn't working smoothly with Apex and Top Step. So the API loophole that I had, they shut it down. So for a while there with Replicanto, I was able to trade across Top Step and Apex. And then Top Step shut that down here for people who had existing connections 7 days ago maybe. Or it stopped working smoothly 7 days ago. So it was just becoming a pain in the ass from an execution perspective. So I had to do executions for my Apex through Tradeovate, and Top Step I was doing through TradingView. So like setting orders in my personal account and my two funded companies was just starting to become like an operational headache. Plus, right, writing everything out in the Discord channel, all this kind of stuff. It was really hard to keep track of everything. So I felt like I was setting myself up for an execution nightmare. So yeah, I just started becoming a pain in the ass. So took my money, ran, and restarted. No complaints. Oh, you better crush him, Mike. You better crush him. And like for myself here, guys, personally, right? I don't feel like I need more than 5 accounts. I've talked about this before. But, you know, that gives you potential, right, with those 5 accounts to make $50,000 to $100,000 a month with it, right? When you have a good month. So you pair that with a personal, and that's a huge amount of income where I don't feel like I need more. If you want to go 20 accounts and you want to go max leverage, go with Apex, right? Be selfish with your goals, but keep it all in one company. I think from like an execution perspective, that's the easiest. Yeah, the more complicated you make your executions, the more issues you set yourself up to have. And that's just extra stress, right? So make life easy for yourself by keeping it all in one place. Any other questions here, team? Any other questions? Yeah, it's been a bit of a fighter's week, right? We've had to really box between the lines here. But I won't complain. All right, guys, final call for question here. Final call for questions. So one contract on the first one, 2 contracts on the second, 2 contracts on the third per account. So 1, 2, 2. Yeah, I mistyped on the alert, so I apologize for that. And again, I said this at the time, but I felt like that second trade, I rushed my entry a little bit. Generally, when I rush my entry, right, I tend to make other mistakes. Because you feel like, oh, I'm going to miss this move if I don't jump in. If I got 8 points earlier, you know, that's an even better day. So, something to think about here a little bit. Won't complain, but left some money on the table again here today. All right, guys, any other questions? Ah, no worries, Bruno. You choose to be how engaged you want to be, right? So no worries, but I just want to make sure that I'm, you know, answering everyone's questions, or that there isn't any like confusion over why I'm doing something or something along those lines. Like I said, my objective here is to be as transparent as I possibly can be. And that means sometimes I show you the good, sometimes I show you the bad. But I will always promise to be stream of consciousness, right, when I'm trading. So you hear that sometimes. But yeah, hopefully you guys all find it helpful. I promise I can't, it's harder for me to hide than it is for me to tell you the truth, right? So sometimes the truth is painful, and sometimes there are things that send me on a tangent and a rant. But I don't know, I think it's generally a net positive. And I promise you all, feedback is never personal. I am very motivated and invested in all of your success. And so I promise when I say stuff sometimes, it's never an attack on you. It's an attack on your trading. And your trading is not a reflection of who you are as an individual. It is not a reflection of your self-worth. And so I promise any feedback I give you is not feedback for who you are as a person. It's feedback so that you can be the trader I know you can be. And I understand that's not always pretty. I've said this before in the past, but the guy who I learned how to trade from, his name was Steph. He was a Greek guy who ate way too much garlic. And every time I did something stupid, he'd yell at me, tell me what a fucking idiot I am. And not only did I have to take in that feedback, I had to smell his breath. So, could be worse. All right, team. Well, if no further questions, then same deal like always. If you have any questions, hit me up outside of market hours. Send me a email, DM, whatever. Best way for you to contact me. And yeah, guys, we'll be back at it again here tomorrow for hopefully a very strong finish to the week. So have yourselves a great day, team, and we'll catch you up then. Peace.